What up, y'all? What's going on? You are tuned in to season 2, episode 1 of the Can I Talk My Shift podcast. I am Sam Walker INSPO, the host of this infamous podcast, along with the lovely, beautiful co-host Lashawn Gee. What's up?
What's up, love?
What's up with it?
Man, nothing. I'm happy to be back.
Okay.
What's up, people?
What is good?
What it do?
Everybody out there in the world, yeah, we got 2 cameras dub-deucing on y'all. You know what I'm saying? We trying to upgrade a little bit. Growing pains with business and everything, this, that, and the third. But it doesn't matter because season 2 is here. It's finally arrived. And we're excited.
We're super excited because this new element of video is something that we really wanted to implement because we know people consume content in many ways. Season 1 is all audio. You can still find season 1 on every single place you listen to podcasts. So I'm excited that we have this new element, and I'm also excited because the last time we were in the season 1, ending season 1, you know, we were there, we were doing it, and we were sick.
Oh yeah, okay. I was like trying to figure out where you was going for a second, but yeah, we got so for those who have been following the podcast, right? The last episode of season 1, Lashawn came on and was a special guest, right? And we were sick recording that podcast. And so now here we are, season 2. She's no longer a special guest. She is a co-host, and we were working through all of those things at that time, among some other things dealing with business, right? We're both entrepreneurs, authors. We have this publishing company that we've built from the ground up, and now we are doing the podcast, or adding the podcast element. So it's been a lot of growing pains, a lot of works, a lot of kinks to work, I should say, work out. And then also keeping our personal life, you know, ahead of all those things. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So it's been an experience for sure.
Yeah, it has. But we here. But wait, did we introduce the podcast? Like, did we say the title of it?
Yeah, I said that in the intro.
Okay, I thought so. Okay, yeah. I wasn't
the
sure.
Can I Talk My Shift podcast?
Yes.
Why shift?
Why shift? Because shift is the shit. Shift is the wave, and shift is what is going to connect your heart, your mind, aligning those and getting you back to your authentic self, getting us back to our authentic self. And it's for those people who have the intention to do just that: unify their heart and their mind, build their authenticity, increase their leadership skills, and thrive in life after loss. What kind of loss?
Man, let's just say this. So there's loss in all different aspects of life, right? Me personally, I like to expound upon life after loss of parentals, mm-hmm. right? Family members, friends, people. Lashawn tends to describe losses and dive deep into losses dealing with business, mm-hmm. right? Or transitioning from one sport to another, right?
Mm-hmm. Or from sport to after sports, so right. life after, really. So mm-hmm. When we talk about loss, it's really thriving in life after.
Right.
And so that's what this podcast is about, you know, how to thrive in life after as your most authentic self.
Absolutely. And so one of the things that I feel like I want to get out of the way for anyone who is just tuning in to this podcast for the first time, and even for the repeat viewers and listeners, right, who have been following me for a while. So the shift element in Can I Talk My Shift does refer to resurfacing your most authentic self, right? Leadership in life after loss, self-accountability, self-awareness. But also, I think in the simplistic form, it should be centered around wholeness, just the wholeness of life and shifting away from the quote unquote norm or redefining the new norm. Because a lot of the times in our life, I found, and even with a lot of my family members too and friends, the things that we thought were right for us weren't right. And
give me an example.
Okay. So yeah, because we're back, right? We not gonna sugarcoat nothing. So for instance, eating habits. That's this is like top layer in the grand scheme of the depths that we're gonna go to and the things that we talk about. Eating habits. So for her and I, meat, right? We let go of it. We took it out of our diet, right? For me personally, alcohol and smoking. So drug abuse, or not drug abuse, but just drug usage, right? What's one other thing for you personally?
In shifting,
right?
Oh goodness, mindset. Okay. In my own side of the business, I really am an encourager and advocate of shifting your mindset so that you can work well and live well. And it's so aligned with what we do together. But mindset is a big thing, and it has layers. So if you're talking about mindset, from a very top layer, you're talking about, can I be consistent from day to day? Can I make good decisions with what I eat from day to day? Can I plan ahead so that I am working ahead of time and not in time? So
there we go. People pleasing tendencies.
Huge for both of us.
Right. Emotional management. And I think that's really what it boils down to as well, is how do we better manage our emotions? How do we define them so we can manage them? Mm-hmm. Right? How do we uproot the real emotions, not the emotions that we layer on top of the root cause of mm-hmm. whatever is bringing us angst and dis-ease, mm-hmm. right? So these are a lot of the things that we'll touch on in this podcast, in this season. And one of my favorites that we may catch flack on, but I stand firm in what I am learning, what I continue to learn, where my heart has led me, where my heart and mind merge and synergize in order to allow me to be authentic and speak to you directly in a way that is so calm and confident. We're going to dive into spiritual beliefs.
And we are super excited to dive into that, because what we found is the information that is out there sometimes can go over a lot of people's heads.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it actually misses the foundation of the message. So while it's going over your head, you're really missing the foundation of what the meaning of, someone's explanation is about. So yeah, we're going to get to, we're going to get to the root cause of things that we deal with on a daily basis, that we struggle with. We are not going to hide from what that looks like. If you are offended, we invite you to put up a mirror and say, hey, does this apply to me? Does this truly apply to me? We're going to invite you to do that. And we're doing that because we really understand what the root of people pleasing comes from, which you're going to hear that term a lot, because both of us are on our way out of the people pleasing realm, the consistent, I guess, people pleasing realm. And we want to make sure that that, one, people pleasing is okay, except when it's to a detriment of your health and well-being, your mental health and well-being, your physical health and well-being. And we want you to understand really what that looks like for your life, so that you are creating proper and healthy boundaries, so that you are looking at your life from a perspective of what is good, right, and best for you. And, we're going to keep it light. we're going to go deep, but we still going to keep it light. Because
it's funny.
That's how we roll.
It's funny. She said we're going to keep it light. She went like, dropped the elevator down on y'all real quick. But then she said, but we're going to keep it light.
We're going to keep it light.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And if you're not rolling with us, if you're kind of like, they're all over the place right now. They're all over the place. I promise you, stick with us. Because
I don't believe that we're all over the place right now. I don't think that we are. I think we're getting our footing.
Yeah.
This is the first time that her and I are doing something like this to this magnitude, to this level together. It can be a little nerve-wracking sometimes, right? The excitement, I should say. It's not like there is anything scary, you know, but it's exciting. It's exciting times. It's something that we've been wanting to do together. So, yeah, we're not everywhere. I don't feel that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because for a second I felt like, oh, am I saying too much?
Nah.
Am I saying too little? Are they getting it? You know? But I'm all right with where we are. We're really just giving you an overview of what season 2 is going to look like. And I guess if you know, you feel like this is a good time, I feel like it's a good time to really recap season 1 and what that was about, because you spearheaded season 1 and we want to kind of usher people in to season 2 and what that looks like.
Okay, so here's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give you all 3 points about me, talk about a little bit about season 1, slide that over to you so you can give them 3 points. And then why season 2 will be different. Okay. All right. So cool. Sam Walker INSPO, that be your boy, the host of the Can I Talk My Shit podcast, right? I am an entrepreneur, podcaster, right? I've been a podcaster for a while, and a lovely father, veteran. You know, there's many different titles that I can go by, but we'll just stick with entrepreneur for now. Beyonce. That too, right? And so my writing, my ability to write, has led me down a path of understanding that there is a story that I need to share, and there are people that need to hear it in order to elevate. And so I don't want to be selfish anymore and hold my story in, thinking that it cannot create any kind of change, which led me to the Can I Talk My Shift podcast, because there were so many shifts that happened in my life that I felt the need to reach an audience. Okay. And so the podcast, kind of spawned on its own. The title was a play on, you know, the infamous Can I Talk My Shit, right? Coming from a background of sports and music, understanding, you know, we need to be able to do that sometimes. I thought it was important to touch people in a way that was unique to me, and unique enough and interesting enough and creative enough for them to let down their ego and their guard into what I was divulging to them or explaining. And so season 1 was really more so about personifying emotions as women, and then catering the emotional needs of that woman and expounding on them, and then letting people see from another perspective how that emotion might be playing their life in or out their life, I should say. And then so that was only a couple episodes, right? I asked my fiance to come in on the last episode, like we mentioned before. And that prompted us to create season 2, because I got such good feedback from the small group of people that I did let hear the podcast. It was about 100 to 150 people, a beta test group, because I really wanted to do this right. But once I saw the response to our episode, how we felt even though we were sick, and just where we synergize, love, like where we at together, I felt like it was important to give you all that energy on a consistent basis, especially those who always tap in with me, who are always asking about, what's going on. Can you tell us a little bit more about this and that, just to keep it all the way light. Okay. So now I'm gonna slide it to you. So you can let them know 3 key points about you and how you see season 2 being different from season 1.
3 points about me. 3 points about me. Okay. Moved here to Atlanta in 2020 in smack dab in the middle of the panini. And
wait, we doing that?
We are.
Hold on, wait.
Three things.
Time out.
But it matters.
Time out. We going there?
We are going there.
If I'd have known that, I would have came with some more, you know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I'm still keeping
some more razzle on there. I was keeping it light. I just told them, who we are and what we do. And she talking about, well, look, so we started here and the A.
No, we not go. I moved to the A. I moved to Atlanta. This is home base for now. I moved to Atlanta in 2020 for a hard reset. Is moving from North Carolina. I was coach. I was athlete. Entrepreneur. Worked 9 to 5s, the whole bit, and that's really been my grind. It's been moving from corporate 9 to 5 to moving into doing my own thing. My own personal businesses have been really centered around fitness and health and wellness. Now it's evolved into mindset shifting, productivity, and authenticity. So finding your true self in everything after the sports, the 9 to 5s, moving into your own flow, finding your identity into your own authentic self. Wrote a book in 2019 called The Jump That Counts, where there are accounts of different parts of my life and the shifts between coming up from trials and busting through into triumphs. And now I am basically doing that same work, and I'm doing it in collaboration with my love, my fiance,
little old me,
big old him. And I'm super excited. And there's so much more that I could share, but that's 1 or 2 or 3 things. And why I think this season is going to be different from, I'm not going to say better than or worse than or whatever, but the reason I think this is going to be different than season 1 is there's 2 of us. We're co-hosting, we're doing this thing together. We're integrating audio and video, and we're going to have moments where we actually have featured guests. And we're really excited about that because it gives people the space to tell their own story, and also give you all value and gems and information that you can take and use and really chew on. Yes, you will get actionable steps, but I think that what we want to do is really start the conversation of getting people to think about themselves, doing some inner work on themselves, have some introspective time while you're listening to us and even after you're done listening to us, so that you can grow from that, so that you can learn and grow. And that's what we want you to do, is learn and grow. So that's why I think it's going to be different than season 1.
Okay. I think it's going to be different for those same reasons. Mm-hmm. And also the fact that we're more authentic than ever.
Yes.
And I think that's going to be very important, very key in the growth of the show and the pod, really, I look back on some of my interviews, right? So to kind of touch on another point, created a lifestyle interview series back in 2014, 15-ish. Traveled up from Miami, was living in Florida. I was living in Jacksonville, Florida at the time. Partner and I at the time, we would travel from Miami all the way up to Atlanta, and we would do interviews. So this is before I met my fiance. And, even at that time, we got into some rooms fairly quickly And I look back at those interviews, I look back at those times, I was like, I was not ready for for this kind of work. Mm-hmm. It was cool, right? Because I was in a way different space then. But now that I've arrived into this new confidence, I should say, and understanding, I think that it'll just create for better content, better messaging overall, better stature for anyone who is looking to understand themselves better, right? Yeah. And we're not really focused on big names, though we know that they'll come, because for some reason I always find a way, and they always end up, right next to me, or I end up right next to them somehow. I don't know. It is the strangest thing, but needless to say, we'll keep an open door policy for that. But I think it's just important that, we're going to bring our most authentic selves, ideals, beliefs, and learning styles, coaching styles too.
Yes.
To the pod.
Yes.
So season 2, man, please stay tuned. Please stay tuned. Rock out with us as we, improve the studio, the settings, right? We'll be in different areas. Okay. Different cities. I wouldn't say it's a tour right now, but it is an official business, and we're treating it like a business. And I'm excited because 50 owners of the podcast, 50 owners of our own publishing company, right? Man, it's, I never would have thought, but we here.
We are here. And I think it is a testament to all of the work that we've done previously, which is, I think, a wonderful message for you all watching going into this season and this episode number 1 of season 2 for the podcast. Remember that where you are right now is a culmination of where you've been.
I'm going to ask you this off of that. Is shifting now, not back then, not 10 years ago, but currently and moving forward in life, is shifting a choice, or is it a necessity, a non-negotiable? And this goes for anybody.
I think shifting is a necessity. It's part of evolution. It's part of evolving. Shifting is part of evolving. And so if you intend to evolve, I think a shift is a non-negotiable.
Okay.
I also believe that shift is a choice and gets to be a choice because you can go left or right. You can go up or down. What way are you shifting? Because even if you evolve, are you going to evolve into something that's purposeful, that's impactful, that is for the good of your life? Or are you going to shift to something that is the opposite?
So you think that shifting is a choice?
I think shifting is a choice. I think shifting is necessary. How you choose to shift is a choice.
Let's say transformation.
Transformation.
Is it a non-negotiable, or or do people have the choice whether they can transform or not?
Why are you asking me these hard questions?
I don't think it's hard. I think it's just a pretty straightforward answer.
I'll say it the same way as I
said it
did
before.
Well, yeah, about
okay.
with shifting, transformation is necessary in order to enhance your life. If you want to enhance, if you want to elevate, if you want to be on whatever level of success you see success as, transformation is necessary. You can't be this way and in this position if you still have ideas and thought processes and mindset patterns from a devolved self, a non-evolved self. I could not be where I am if I had not had some type of transformation. And I can't be where I want to be if I don't continue to seek out elevating my mindset, because it's a journey. It's a constant journey. We're constantly changing. We're constantly evolving. We're constantly transforming. It's just a matter of what that transformation looks like, what you choose to transform into.
So then it's a non-negotiable then.
It's a non-negotiable. It's going to happen just like change.
I feel like that. I don't feel like anybody has a choice in the matter. I feel like, actually, I don't even feel. I think that evolution is a non-negotiable. And the reason why people, I wouldn't say majority of their issues, but a lot of their challenges stem from them resisting the non-negotiable element of transformation.
Right. And that's the, it being a non-negotiable, but people having a choice.
Right.
Choosing to resist it, or choosing to elevate, or choosing to stay stagnant.
Yeah. And see, people watching, you all watching, right? You may think, okay, well, he's talking about transformation. He's talking about, becoming, an alpha male or some shit like that, right? And not to downplay alpha males or anything like that. We'll have a whole episode on those types of beliefs too. But just even thinking about a relationship, you have to transform yourself. I don't care how successful you are, how much money you have. When you involve someone else in your life, there's transformation there. And when you resist it, right, you get disease. It's really, really tough. When you don't understand your emotions, which is a transformation of understanding. For all my fellas out there, if all we know is anger, and we don't know how to expound on that anger, get below that and really get to the root cause, and then not only get to it, but explain it, and explain it thoroughly enough to where we can communicate to the different species that is woman, right? See what I'm saying? So you have to evolve. It's a non-negotiable in my eyes. I don't think that you really have a choice in the matter. I think that actual adding the element of choice is what causes the problems.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
I understand. Yeah. I understand. I think we do ourselves a disservice when we put transformation as a choice, or when we put the type of transformation as a choice, because people choose, left or right, up or down. Either way, they're going to transform. Either way, there's going to be some sort of transformation. But is it going to be of a benefit to them, or is it going to be to a detriment of them? Yeah. Which I guess would be the second point in this is, always choose authenticity. When you're having the challenge of change, shift, always choose authenticity first, because for so long we all, for a period of time, walk around with the mask. It's just a matter of who's taking the mask off, who's going to choose to take the mask off and be themselves. Yeah. So be courageous enough to choose authenticity, because when you choose authenticity, you invite transformation in.
How does that woman that's watching the podcast right now, that's listening to the podcast right now, and listening to you describe authenticity, how does she become authentic?
So before we got on here, I did like the quickest Google search, because we all talk about authenticity, right?
Prepared,
we all talk about being authentic, right? We do. We throw that word around like, you're not being authentic, you're not being real. And it's like, thank you, I love you too. I love you. And we really don't embody it. But literally, guys, the solid definition of being authentic is of undisputed, meaning this ain't up for discussion. Undisputed origin, like the root of the root origin. Genuine. So when you say you're not being authentic, you're not being real, are you? Like really on a deep level, deep soul level, are you being genuine? Or are you still walking around wearing a mask? I'm not talking about makeup. I'm not talking about your wig, your weave, your wig, your extensions, none of that. I am talking about, are you walking around being your genuine self? What parts of you do you hide from others that you don't want them to see? Not, it's this setting, so I need to be this. Are you code switching? I mean, because that's the thing too. Are you being of undisputed origin? Are you being genuine? So in that, I would say, how do you become authentic? Men and women, it's ask yourself the question, am I being of undisputed origin? My undisputed origin. Am I being genuine? Are you genuinely a ratchet, real, bougie, petty, princessy, balanced, even keeled, like any of those, even temperament, way up, way down, emo, loving, kind, angry, hurt, fearful, stern. Are you being your true self? And are you being that for you first? And then are you being that to the people around you? Are you being that of that undisputed origin to yourself and to the people around you?
So the first step is to ask themselves a great quality question. And that's the question that they should ask themselves.
Yes. Am I being of undisputed origin? Am I being genuine? And I think a lot of what we ask on here, a lot of the messaging that we're going to be sharing, it's going to always come back to self, right? Because that's how we become our authentic selves, is if we continue to ask ourselves those questions. I touched on people pleasing a little bit earlier, and a lot of people, again, throw that phrase around too. But what we've learned in it is that, the root of people pleasing comes from childhood trauma. It comes from us as children seeking approval that we're not necessarily feeling or getting from our parents. And when that evolves over time, it looks like being super agreeable all the time. It looks like saying yes to things you don't want to say yes to. What does it look like in your life?
It's like you're going to go in and then halfway through just be like, so what is it on you? Yo, I know for a fact, and all my fellas can agree, I'm sure, that we say yes a lot of the times when we want to be like, Nah, I'm not rocking with that. And if you've gotten past that, you can at least say that you, at one point in your life, you were that way. And I can honestly say like that came as a survival tactic for me, just because of what happened in my life at a young age, losing a parent, going through a lot of emotional abuse in a dysfunctional family setting, and all of the therapeutic terms that they throw out there, right? But yeah, I know every time you say yes when you really want to say no, and losing your willpower little by little, little by little, that is really, I think that's one of the top reasons, if not the top reason, why people become inauthentic. You feel me? If you say something or you want to do something, and I'm like, I'm not fucking with that today, and I'm afraid to tell you because I don't want you to get upset with me, thinking that it'll be the end of the world and all of this shit, Yeah. And you do that a couple times in a week, and then add those up into a month, and then a year, and now you're in year 5, and all you're doing is
saying yes.
Yeah, lying to yourself. Yeah, man, nah.
Yeah.
Or when you say, or when I said, oh man, that's like, y'all can bounce back from that. It ain't that bad. The lying, the small white lies to thyself.
To thyself.
To thyself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those things for sure.
Yeah.
Can really get you into a space. You see how like all the energy, because look, the energy started going down. I know y'all watching. You like, damn, man, like that is me. That's it. Yeah.
Think about where it puts you. It puts you at a lower. Lower vibration. It puts you at a lower energy frequency. But once you start setting healthy boundaries, once you start being authentic to yourself, once you start making your yes and your no, gaining that confidence, standing true in what's true and right for you, without regard to what other people think. If you have to stand alone, when you can do that, that is the healthiest form, I guess, of people pleasing. Because I think at one time I used the term, just in conversation, toxic people pleasing, which I think there's some relevancy to that, because all of the things we just named, you do it enough, and yes, it does become toxic, but there's a healthy form. There's nothing wrong with people pleasing in and of itself, because you're serving. When you are serving other people, when you are in a space of service, and you have your healthy boundaries set up, when you are still able to show compassion and empathy to others, that's when people pleasing is, I think, okay. I think that makes it okay once you have your boundaries, and once you have a confidence in yourself that you can stand on your own without having to seek constant approval, without having to change who you are so that you don't ruffle feathers or hide your emotions to protect someone else's emotions. When you can do those things, man, can you thrive?
Yeah, definitely that, for sure. I'll even go so far as to say, with healthy people pleasing and toxic people pleasing, it's something about that word toxic that still just doesn't sit right with me. Not because it's you saying it, just how it's been used and weaponized throughout social media. One of the things that I know that we'll do is we'll go in further in the season, and a lot of these words that we're using, like boundaries and things like that, because I know, like, we just assume that because the word has been utilized a lot, that people know, but we may touch into a whole nother audience that doesn't even know the language or the jargon that we're even referring to.
Right.
So we're going to definitely go in on a lot of the terminology and why it's important to know it as it is, and then how to make it your own in your life, right? But with the people pleasing, how you said, you know, when you're pleasing from a healthy space, I think I'll go so far as to say that, yes, I agree with you, right? There is a such thing as healthy people pleasing. Mm-hmm. And it's when you're in control of it.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of the times when we're yes people, we're not in control of it. It controls us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you are moving from an authentic space and you are able to still then please people, because as a leader, that's what it's about. It's people before you, you know? And so, but I have control over it. I know how to turn it up or dial it back. And I know how to do it in a way to the people that deserve it. And I focus on the people who deserve it, not the ones who don't. And I know how to vet that shit, right? I know how to put them through a vetting process, right? And again, of course, we'll get into more of that in further episodes, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's important to say now, because that's one of the things that I've learned. It's like, nah, you don't want to, when you get hurt from giving people more than what they deserve, and because you don't know that in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because if you did, you probably wouldn't even do it. But it's like you find out on the back end, like, dang, I done did all this for this person, and they did like this to me, blah, blah, all this, right? But at the same time, though, right, when you can look at that and look at how you lost control of that, or if you were even doing it to manipulate the situation to try to get the person to be something that you already felt like they weren't, for your own benefit. Because people pleasing can be manipulative too. See, these are the things that we're going to talk about. This is, you know what I'm saying? It's important to have these conversations, though, especially for my fellas, man, and women. And women too. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
I think it's important to, while we both are on here, we definitely give messaging that resonates with both men and women, both young women and young men, because that information sometimes gets so distorted that people think it's one or the other. And in actuality, it's both. You know, a lot of times you don't hear people talking about men people pleasing. It always, I guess, as a default goes to women, because now what stems from that is imposter syndrome because of the people pleasing, and it just seems to always resonate with women. But there are men who probably haven't even asked themselves the question before, you know, what do you want? What do you really truly want? And because they have been people pleasing for so long that they haven't even had the language to use it. Mm-hmm. You know, they haven't even had the language to say, oh, snap, that's what that is. Like, that's what I'm doing. And so when we are giving this information, we want you to know we've had extensive conversation around what things mean for women and what things mean for men. And we want to try to deliver that information so that it resonates on both sides.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Because when we generalize, we do a disservice.
Facts.
I think anybody that is a coach, a mentor, any type of parental figure, right? Mm-hmm. Consultant, anybody who even works in a creative space, anyone who is in a leadership role or position, and anyone who is looking to bring organization and harmony into their life and into their space, we have to be able to be specific and talk about specifics and not generalize certain statements, right? Generalize certain ideals. Because the more we can pinpoint and narrow down, the better clarity that we have and that we gain. Right. The better questions that we can ask ourselves. The quality of question determines the quality of answer, which determines the quality of life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I think this is a perfect time to, because of what you just said, quality questions give you quality answers. I think this is a perfect time to insert, what's your favorite book today?
My favorite book today.
What you reading on today?
Right now, okay, so, well, before I answer that, so what we're going to do is we're going to make sure on the podcast that we drop a good book gem for you guys to read, something that we're either reading, have read multiple times, or looking forward to reading, and the reasons why. Because our goal is in identifying emotions and enhancing our emotional management, we want to get, drum roll, at least, at minimum, 1 million people to read.
Daily, weekly, monthly.
Right.
1 million people opening a book, putting some earbuds in and listening to a book.
Correct.
But feeding themselves with literary works.
And so we will be doing a disservice if we did not offer the gems that we pick up, that get handed to us, that, you know, we attract, we align with, right? Okay. So currently what I am reading is The Jump That Counts. Again.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes,
okay.
For real. I ain't just saying that just because we together. Yes, The Jump That Counts. Because it was things that led up to the you that I met. And I can always kind of see the growth and make sure that I can acknowledge you in certain ways by who you are now and looking at in this book and seeing your journey. So I always want to reread it. I don't tell you when I'm reading it, right? But yeah, just to see how far you've come and give you compliments and things and just better understand you and what you're going through and things. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So The Jump That Counts. And also, what was it? Was it John Maxwell?
I think you said
John C. Maxwell. I know the 360 degree leader, or 360 degrees of leadership. I think that's the title. One of those two is the titles. I'm not reading that book. I am going to read it, but the one that I'm reading now is Asking Questions. Is that what it's called? Asking Questions?
Let's see. So the 360 degree leader is the one that you just spoke about, right?
Yeah, I will be getting into that book.
And then, let's see, 5 levels of leadership.
No, it's a questions book. Oh, you know, I could just go to Scribe. If y'all don't know, Scribe.com. Type in John C. Maxwell questions.
Okay.
John C. Maxwell questions.
Maybe it's in the...
Good leaders ask great
We found
questions.
it at the same time. I saw it and he read it. Good leaders ask great questions.
That is the book that I'm currently in right now.
I love it. I'm looking forward to reading. You? I'm looking forward to actually reading that one too. A book that I am currently reading, I haven't picked up in a couple weeks. I got to be honest, probably since I got back from my from Junior Olympic Games.
Okay.
For those who don't know, I am an announcer for track meets. And so at the end of July, beginning of through the first week of August, I go to the Junior Olympic Games to announce. So while I was there, I was reading. But the book that I'm currently in now is called A Return to Love. It's by Marianne Williamson. And this is, I want to say, don't make me lie, 20th anniversary of the book. It may be longer than that now, but basically the book, she wrote the book off of another book that she had read called A Course in Miracles. So super great book, but A Return to Love is basically if you replace love with self. A return to self. Fire. And so it basically talks about reconnecting with spirit, reconnecting with God, remembering that God is love, and remembering to bring that love back into yourself so that you can be your most authentic self from a place of love. It's a wonderful book. I really, really, truly love it. It was a gift given to me, and I am really enjoying that one. So that's what I'm reading now. Ooh. Definitely looking forward to Good Leaders Ask Great Questions by John C. Maxwell. So that's just one. And we could go on and on about books, but we're going to keep it at, what we're looking for, what we're reading now, what we're looking forward to.
Right. And it's all, this is a service, right, that we want to provide as far as or in addition to the services that we provide, is building a community that understands the importance of literature, especially Black literature. Now, the books that we mentioned, I don't think that the author of your book is indigenous at all. Right. Neither is mine. John C. Maxwell is a white man. And I don't think that that's a problem. But I do know that I'm an advocate for melanated authors. Doesn't mean that I discredit or don't, or I have a bias towards any other authors. It's just I want to make sure that we always on this platform acknowledge us first, right? Because we seldom have that opportunity. But everyone's going to get love on the platform. But I'm always going to be an advocate for the melanated authors. One, for being one. For my wife to be being one as well, for my daughter being one, and two, just because, we need to shed light on that. Yeah. We're being taken out of schools, right? We're being taken out of curriculums. We're being taken out of spaces. And so on this platform, I will make sure that we get enough shine, as much shine as we can. And I will continue to discuss the importance of literature, our story, and controlling our narratives, and just having that access. Yeah. Right? Yeah. To past, present, and future.
And we'll put, if you're watching on the visual platform, YouTube, if you are watching, we'll put those links to those books that we just named in the description so that you can check them out for yourself. I am not sure if one or both or all come in audio version, but
we'll drop them in our Amazon store.
We'll put them in the Amazon store. We'll put links to all of the books in the description so you'll have access to them and continue your journey of elevation.
Absolutely, yo. Absolutely.
To love. I think we're at the end.
Yeah, episode 1 is cool. Like I said, we wanted to just kind of recap on what season 1 was about. Give you a little bit of what season 2 will entail, which you can look forward to. Show you all the synergy, right? The love on camera. Introducing the video element to the podcast. Right. Expounding a little bit on the people-pleasing element and emotional management. And then, of course, offer some literature for you to read. And so where can they find your work? What can they look forward to? What do you have coming up outside of the podcast?
Oh, man. Well, one, you can find me on Instagram at @TheLG_. That's TheThelle, the letter L spelled out, GEE_. You can find me on Fanbase at the same name. You can find me on my website at the same name. So it's easy to find me, guys. You can pick up a copy of my book on my website. You can find me on YouTube if you look up the LG, or you type in my name, Lashawn Gee. You'll find me on YouTube. Have been posting for years and years and years, but videos currently are on discipline, mindset. You might even find some fitness stuff in there because I'm not taking the old stuff down.
Fire.
So yes,
people still need that.
People still need the stuff that's there. So it's good stuff. But yes, you can find me on those social media platforms. Like I said, at all at the same name, DLG, and my website, dlg.com. Find all kinds of goodies in the shop. And outside of the podcast, honestly, we both are involved in something right now that is really, really big coming up in the late fall. That we are super excited to share with you in the coming weeks. But that is what's going on, and our energy, my energy is going to be put into that. But then also just reviving everything that I just named. I took off 2022 from social media and posting and blogging and all of that. And so now with this first episode, I can say, go to the website, check out the new blog post, go to the social media, check out, my stories, check out, the new things that we have to share with you. We just wrote a book. We just wrote an ebook. We just wrote something together that we're super excited about. If you heard it, you heard it. But we just completed something together that we are super excited about sharing. That you can find, you can find the breadcrumbs on our social media pages.
Hey, you gotta warm it up, babe.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta throw it.
Gotta warm it up. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta warm it up.
Gotta warm it up, man. Don't drop it all on them at one time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you?
Me?
Where can they find you? I know where to find you.
Yeah.
Where can they find you online?
Online, yo, if you go to Google right now, type in Sam Walker INSPO, bam, I'm gonna be all over your screen. That's a fact. Instagram, really Sam Walker INSPO, Twitter, Sam Walker INSPO, the website, samwalkerinspo.com, on YouTube, Sam Walker INSPO. You can,
Fanbase.
Did I say Fanbase?
Nope.
I thought I did.
You said Twitter.
Let me retract. Fanbase, Sam Walker INSPO, right? And if you don't know about Fanbase, it is a social audio app and social media platform founded by Isaac Hayes III. It is a really dope platform. I will continue to push it. It is a place where you can monetize all of your content, from pictures that you post to carousels to video to even your audio rooms. All of your content can be monetized. You can transfer your content from TikTok and Instagram over using one link. That means you don't have to go and try to repost. You can literally migrate your content over, right? And Fanbase makes that super easy for you to do. So I suggest that you can use the link. I'll drop that at the bottom of the video. And you can also find that on my platforms as well, where you can sign up for Fanbase. It's free to sign up.
Yep.
Right. And you can start getting paid for all your content, man. So yeah, I would definitely want to make sure I shout out Fanbase for sure. And yeah, Sam Walker INSPO on Google, website, social media platforms. And yeah, that's pretty much it for real. Oh, and then the Can I Talk My Shift podcast is available on YouTube, on Fanbase, of course, and anywhere that you can stream podcast.
That's it, y'all.
Yeah.
This is we're wrapping episode 1, season 2 of the Can I Talk My Shift podcast. We thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely, man.
Tune in next week, where you're going to find more juiciness. You'll start to see a theme with us. You'll start to see the theme of self-awareness and authenticity and leadership. You'll see that throughout. So tune in next week. Find us on, on the social media platform so you can, maybe possibly get sneak peeks of what's next. And coming next week, we may have some things that you can actually go and download, so that you can keep in the know with us.
Absolutely, y'all. Appreciate you lending us your ears, your heart, and of course your mind. Until the next episode, we'll holler back. Peace and love, y'all.
Later.
For sure.